Imagine a time when only 3% of people were online, spending just an hour a week exploring the web. That was 1985, and it's hard to believe that was the early days of the internet. Fast forward to today, we see AI breaking into the mainstream with unprecedented speed. How did we get here, and what can we learn from the past to understand this AI boom? I'm Rafi, and welcome to the AI Lib. The rise of AI today mirrors the early days of the internet in many ways. Both technologies spent decades in development before reaching a pivotal acceleration point. For the internet, it was the 90s. For AI, it's happening right now.
I think one similarity is it's been developing the technologies, in this case AI or the internet, for decades, and then hit a acceleration point. So 75 years of investment, including here at MIT around AI. It's really the last 18 months where things have really accelerated, because obviously the overnight success of ChatGPT, which was 75 years in the making, and that really created momentum and excitement with entrepreneurs and investors and the general public.
Back in the 90s, building for the internet was tough, requiring hardcore technologists and visionaries. The same is true for AI today. We are witnessing a return to the roots where groundbreaking technology is driven by researchers and technologists.
Diana, I love your point about how this is sort of like returning YC to its roots. It definitely felt that way last summer, because when YC got started, the internet was really new, and the people who were building stuff on the internet were mostly technologists. It was actually pretty hard to build websites back then, and pretty hard to build good software. And as building software and building websites got commoditized, a lot more people came into the space. And this is a cool reversion back to the origins, where the people who are building the most interesting stuff are mostly really hardcore researchers and technologists, because there's actually real new technology being invented. It's not just innovating on business models with commoditized technology.
While there are similarities in the boom cycles of AI and the internet, there are fundamental differences in the technologies themselves. The internet was a network connecting computers and people. AI, on the other hand, is a new kind of computer, a probabilistic computer, capable of understanding and processing information in ways traditional computers cannot.
I actually think that the analogy doesn't really work for the most part. It works in certain ways, but it doesn't really work for the most part. And the reason is because the internet was a network, whereas AI is a computer.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So people understand what we're saying. So the internet,
like the PC boom,
or the PC boom, or even I would say the microprocessor. My best analogy is to the microprocessor.
Yeah.
Or even to the original computers, back to the mainframe era.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because, what the internet did was the internet, obviously was a network, but the network connected together many existing computers. And then, there are some networks effects in AI that we can talk about, but it's more like a microprocessor. It's more like a chip. It's more like a computer, in that it's a system that basically, data comes in, data gets processed, data comes out, things happen. That's a computer. It's an information processing system. It's a computer. It's a new kind of computer. It's a, we like to say the sort of computers up until now have been what are called von Neumann machines, which is to say they're deterministic computers, which is they're hyper literal, and they do exactly the same thing every time. And if they make a mistake, it's the programmer's fault. But they're very limited in their ability to interact with people and understand the world. We think of AI and large language models as a new kind of computer, a probabilistic.
Despite AI being older than the internet, it took much longer to reach the public due to its technical challenges. However, once it did, its popularity surged at an unprecedented rate. The rapid adoption of AI technologies, such as OpenAI's ChatGPT, highlights how quickly AI is now transforming our world compared to the internet's gradual acceptance.
To me, as the internet is basically 50 years old, AI is 75 years old. So actually AI is older than the internet, but it's having its internet moment, what some have called its Netscape moment, about 2 years ago with obviously the release of ChatGPT. And so it went from bubbling rather slowly, quietly for 75 years before breaking into the mainstream. What's different about AI is how it kind of became this overnight phenomenon, really a global phenomenon. It took us 9 years to get 1 million members. It took OpenAI something like 3 months to get 100 million.
One significant difference between AI and previous computing eras is ease of use. While past technologies from mainframes to smartphones created lock-in through complexity, AI stands out as the easiest to use, speaking natural language and simplifying user interaction. This raises interesting questions about how lock-in will function in the AI era.
Interesting about this era of computing, if you look at prior eras of computing from the mainframe to the smartphone, a huge source of lock-in was, basically the difficulty of using them. So, nobody ever got fired for buying IBM because, you had people trained on them, people knew how to use the operating system. It was just kind of like a safe choice due to the massive complexity of dealing with a computer. And then even with the smartphone, why is the Apple computer smartphone so dominant? What makes it so powerful? It's because switching off of it is so expensive and complicated and so forth. It's an interesting question with AI because AI is the easiest computer to use by far. It speaks English. It's like talking to a person. And so what is the lock-in there? And so are you completely free to use the size, price, choice, speed that you need for your particular task? Or are you locked into the God model? I think it's still a bit of an open question, but it's pretty interesting in that thing could be very different than prior generations.
The AI boom mirrors the dot-com boom of the late 90s in terms of market movements. Just as the internet saw rapid acceleration followed by a period of overhype and correction, AI is experiencing a similar trajectory. The market sees many companies jumping on the AI bandwagon, reminiscent of the dot-com era.
When you saw the burst, then there's never been a greater acceleration of wealth in the history of the planet, right? All these industries, whether it's crypto, you're just talking about Bitcoin, they go through these troughs, including EVs right now, but inevitably that's where it's going. And AI is another major moment in technology. There's several. Graphical user, the chip itself, the computer, then the laptop, then the graphical user interface was in there, mobile, social, internet, mobile, social, and this is one of those, and it's a big one, big moment. This is a big moment. Running away from this is ridiculous. I mean, maybe you'll see too many insurance AIs or whatever. There'll be too many of them, just like there were in the dot-com, and then things will settle out. And the thing is, we can't imagine what's going to happen yet. When you got the iPhone in 2007, could you think Uber? No, right? You couldn't think of all the many things on it.
The AI boom mirrors the dot-com boom of the late 90s in terms of market movements. Just as the internet saw rapid acceleration followed by a period of overhype and correction, AI is experiencing a similar trajectory. The market sees many companies jumping on the AI bandwagon, reminiscent of the dot-com era. So, what about you? Share your opinion in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future updates. Check out the videos appearing on your screen right now for more insights and stories from the world of technology. I'm Rafi, and this is the AI Lib. Stay tuned.